Oh, and then I'm supposed to call Matt. Do you know a reporter for the 49ers, Matt Barros?
Yeah.
He writes for
Yep.
He's writing a piece on Christian, which he's been working on for a while, I guess.
was going to
Matt
say, is
Barros.
this the thing? Yeah, he's good.
He's okay. Yeah, no, he seemed nice. Christian told him some crazy story about that I ran a 4.940 while pregnant.
Is that true?
That is true. I actually ran a 4.8. So screw you, Christian. But keep in mind, I literally was like freshly pregnant, like not like I was like 9 months pregnant running. So calm down about that. But it's kind of funny. Yeah. A long story.
Oh, here we go. That's
we'll do it later.
Hold on. Yeah. Hello.
Hi. Oh, you look great.
Hi, Cheryl. You do look great. Lisa was just bragging about how she ran a 4.840 when she was pregnant. So you came at just the right time.
Oh, yeah, God. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Me and my 40 time. Yeah. Want to hear that? Stupid. No.
What were you running from?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Welcome to Your Mom podcast. Your mom's podcast.
This isn't any podcast. This is your mother's podcast.
My mom's podcast.
Nah, dude, she's your mom.
With Ashley Addison and Lisa McCaffrey.
Your mom is a podcast.
Shut up, dude.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Your Mom, or welcome to Your Mom for the first time. If you are just stumbling upon us, we're happy to have you here. You picked a great episode to join the party. I'm Ashley Adamson. I work for the Pac-12 Network. I've been a sports broadcaster for about 15 years. I don't know. I got to do the math on that.
Exaggerate, like 100 years. I think
I've been in this business for about 110 years or so. It feels that way sometimes.
It feels like, yeah.
And you are Lisa McCaffrey, the one and only, a budding media star. We don't really even, her boys are like, whatever. She's got 4 sons. They all play or coach football.
Blah, blah, blah,
blah, blah, blah. Ed McCaffrey, Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. But you are like truly a budding media star. You had Andrea Kramer and the NFL crew at your house for what, like 12 hours yesterday?
Like 24 basically hours they were here. No. We had an awesome crew. Yep. We ate together. We played together. We talked together. Yep. Andrea Kramer is the epitome of sports journalism, aside from you, of course. But she's incredible. She is incredible. She loves her job and it shows. And it was just a pleasure to get to know her and be interviewed by her. I'm flattered she wanted to interview us. So yeah, we did a nice little segment with the Shanahans and it was great. She wanted to just sort of backtrack and get the scoop on our relationship from way back when, because we've known them since 94 and been friends with them ever since. And it's been a neat relationship that it's evolved over time. So we dive into that. So it was great. It was really fun.
I love it. So that'll hopefully be coming out when? Do you know when it's?
I think NFL Network is going to come out before the game this weekend, before the Seahawks game.
Before the Seahawks game. Okay, great. So we'll keep an eye out for that. And Andrea Kramer is awesome. We should have her on this podcast. She's got a great story and we can dive into that at another time.
Yeah, in between her 20 jobs.
She has kids and jobs, and she's been doing it at a high level for a very long time. So that's awesome. But here, the thing is we kind of got to cut to the chase because we have an amazing guest, first guest of 2023. And honestly, like, I don't think we can think of a better way to kick off the new year. We've been talking about having her on for a while.
Yeah.
Raised 2 boys, one of whom was drafted 3rd overall in the NFL. A couple years later, her youngest was drafted 2nd overall. Both were the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year in their first seasons in the league.
Oh my gosh.
Both are about to start the playoffs on Saturday. And again, the youngest one is about to be named NFL Defensive Player of the Year. We'll talk more about that. But we are talking, of course, about Nick and Joey Bosa, and their amazing mom is Cheryl, who I was lucky enough to meet on Sunday after the Niners game, thanks to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's what I do. Put people together.
You're a connector, and she's awesome. She's amazing. She's got great energy and a great story, and we're going to dive into all of that. But you guys go back way before when Christian joined the Niners.
Well, I had met her one time before, but Dylan actually played against Joey, Michigan and Ohio State. So I've known of her, and then I had the pleasure of meeting her, and then have gotten to know her since Christian joined the 49ers, and it's been a pleasure. So
yeah,
she's
awesome. And both of her boys went to Ohio State and were stars there. She went to Ohio State. Real quick before we welcome her in, I've been thinking about this, and I haven't told you the story, but I want to say thank you for inviting me to the game on Sunday. Chris and I had the best time.
Oh my gosh, that was so fun.
It was so fun. It was the first time I've got to see Christian play in person since he was at Stanford. So that was amazing. But the thing that stood out to me as I was thinking about that day, it was after the game, and we go down to say hi to Christian at his car outside the stadium, and it was like a 5-second moment. You walk up to him, and he just says, "Hi, Mom," and you guys hug each other. You give him a little kiss on his cheek, and it was just, I don't know, it was just a moment, and you forget for a second that he's one of the most famous NFL players on the planet right now, and how many thousands of people are wearing his jersey in that stadium and cheering him on every week. It was a mom telling her son, "Good job," after a game. And it was, of all the things I saw on Sunday, that's the image that's going to stick with me. So I imagine that those hugs never get old, and being able to give your boys a hug after a game and give them a kiss on the cheek is still just as meaningful, even though you've done it hundreds of times.
It is. I know. I cherish that. It is, especially after the weekend before with Damar Hamlin. So that was I was looking forward to that hug at the end of the game. Yeah. So although I felt a little guilty, we were socializing so much, we actually missed him coming out. So we met him at his car. But we had a blast.
Well, that was the thing. All of a sudden, we're like hanging out with Olivia and all of your gal pals who I just absolutely love. And all of a sudden, we're like, oh yeah. I think Christian...
No, he's texting us going, "Where are you? I'm sitting in the car waiting for you." I'm like, "Oh, sorry. Oops."
We're just trying. We're trying to have a good time, Christian.
Sorry, we're having too much fun.
Oh, but I know there was a great article that came out in The Athletic this morning that David Lombardi wrote, and it is all about not only, what Nick Bosa brings to the team and his relationship with some of the guys in the locker room, but there's some great stuff with Christian there. So I know that it's been a special. Christian has talked about being in that locker room. It's like looking around, and he's like, I feel like I'm playing in a Pro Bowl. And Nick Bosa certainly is.
He's learned so much from everybody on this team. It's incredible, and they're all students of the game. They're all Nick. I mean, I always call him Joey. Sorry, I go back to what I say. Nick Bosa is like learning from Trent Williams every single game. It's so. I mean, that's what that article is about. Big shout out to David Lombardi. He's followed Christian since Stanford, and I've actually followed his career, oddly, and he's incredible. He's a great journalist, so he's a good one to get your information from if you're interested in the 49ers. Nick is just a student of the game. You think you're about to be named the defensive player of the year, yet he's still eager to learn and get better every single week, and that's what makes this team so special. He's not the only one in the locker room that's like that, so that's what's pretty special about this team. So just hope they can keep it going.
Yeah. And we're going to I want to ask Cheryl about that, because I do think there's something special and that happens when those teams, and there's a lot of luck that comes into play, and everybody needs to stay healthy, and all of these things need to come together. But there are certain locker rooms where you can tell there's the right mix of, it's the culture, it's the experience, it's there's so many, like, I don't know what the magic potion is, but it feels like the Niners have a lot of that in order to make a run. So we'll talk about all of that coming up. But without further ado, let's not belabor the point. Cheryl Bosa on Your Mom. Enjoy it. Cheryl Bosa, thank you so much for joining us. It is awesome to have you. Fort Lauderdale, Florida is where you are right now?
That's right, yes.
Okay, well, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy day and busy week, because I know you got a lot coming up. We have so much to dive into. I got to ask, tell me the story of when the first time that you met Lisa, because you guys met before Christian came to the Niners, if I'm not mistaken.
We did. Yeah. We were, unbeknownst to me, we were both asked to do this Moms of the NFL interview that Annie Apple, Eli Apple's mom, was putting together with, I think it was ESPN, right, Lisa?
I think so. To be honest, I don't even remember.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was years ago. And so we all got flown to, well, it was actually Jersey, but, to New York to, do this ESPN Moms of the NFL thing. And Lisa and I were like kindred spirits. We really were. It was like instant, so
we hit it off right away.
When I heard Christian was coming, I was like, oh my God, Lisa's coming. So
Christian, so fine, but Lisa's coming.
Him?
Yeah.
I was like, he's just a vessel, to get her there.
Right. So who cares about him? Yeah.
Oh, that is
and
amazing.
I said no to all the other teams just because I wanted to hang out with you again.
See that?
Yeah,
see?
100%.
Yeah. See how we manipulate situations?
It's the mom mafia is running it. We've been talking about that for a while. It was basically Peggy and the two of you that commandeered
the hand
that
that
whole
rocks
thing.
The cradle rules the world.
Yeah.
And here we are, 10 wins in a row, and things are looking pretty good. I got to ask, what was Nick's reaction when he found out that Christian was coming to the Niners?
Oh, I mean, the whole team was completely psyched about it. honestly, I think no joking, like, I think I talked more about Lisa coming. I was like, I think when I saw Nick that night, I'm like, oh my God, his mom is fantastic. So, but it was
Oh,
funny. I saw Christian, who I had never met, at the hotel. Literally, it must have been like his first day, like second day
Right,
there
when you
or whatever. And he had all these guards walking him through the hotel. And of course, I don't care about guards. I like jump in front of them and I'm like, Christian, I'm Nick's mom. And I'm like, where's your mom? And he, gave me a big hug and he's like, yeah, she's
who
coming.
cares?
So
I bet that happens a lot to Christian. I bet Christian is
Yeah.
gets
yeah.
assaulted by, hey, where's your mom? Tell me where your mom is. Oh, I love
Oh,
it. I want to hear a little bit about what it was like raising those two boys. And I think both of you have, obviously raised insanely successful football players and young men. But when did you know you have a total football background? The gene pool was set up for the Bosa boys to at least have the ability to go play football at a big time level. But I just got to
yeah.
ask, when they were born, like, did you know that this was potentially going to be their path?
I mean, not when they were born, but it was a very early age, definitely a very early age. Nick peaked earlier than Joey did. My ex-husband and I, like literally, I think it was when Nick started playing at about 7 years old, we would go out and watch him and we'd think to ourselves, what is happening here? Like we knew something
And
crazy
wait,
was
what's the
going.
age difference in the two?
They're 3 years in school, but only like 2 years and change in
Okay.
age, like 2 years,
And
three
Joey's
months.
older, right? Joey is older.
Joey's
And he
older.
plays for the
Yeah,
Chargers, just so.
yeah, yeah. He plays for the Chargers. Joey, we started seeing it with Joey probably high school, freshman year
Okay.
in high school, up until, I mean, he was always very talented, but he just didn't have that same, I don't know, focus or whatever that Nick had literally from the time he, first stepped on the field as a baby. So,
Wow.
but yeah, then
Did
all of a
did they
sudden
both always play D end? Did they always play D end?
well, it's actually a really funny story. 7-year-old Nick, we're out on this field in Pembroke Pines, Florida, which trust me, I had driven to almost every, pee wee football field to like just check it out, make sure, that I liked the situation and the people that I was talking to and whatnot, because it was literally, 40 minutes from my house. It wasn't like I was going to the, neighborhood park with my kids. But I knew like if I was going to do this, we were going to do it right.
Yeah, you want him to have a good
Um,
experience off the bat.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. It's the best years of my life, I can honestly say.
Aw.
Really?
But Nick's first day of practice, it was hilarious because Joey's on one field over here, Nick's on one field over there. So I would plop my folding chair in between so I could just, do that. And Nick goes out there and his one of his coaches is this just massive, ginormous guy. And I see Nick walk up to him and like tug on his shirt, and he looks down at him and sort of the coach sort of shrugs and is like, okay, and like points that way. And so after practice, I said, what'd you say to that coach, Nick? He goes, oh, I just told him I want to play defense, not offense. Because they
Wow.
automatically, they see this big white kid and they're like, oh, you're O
Oh,
line.
exactly, right. That's what I was
Yeah.
wondering. Yeah.
And he's like,
Nope.
coach, I want to play defense. He never played offense
Why did
ever.
he want to play defense? Did you,
I don't know.
he just knew?
I don't know.
Wow.
It's like, how do you explain that? It's
Yeah.
just
He
an
just
innate
knew.
thing. It's bizarre. Yeah.
Did they watch football? Would they watch it? Were they students, at that age? They like it? Gravitate?
Yeah, Nick was, I went to Ohio State. My brother played at Ohio State when I was there. So,
Okay.
we were huge, still are huge Buckeye fans. And I remember Nick from 2 years old sitting with me and, huge Buckeye fan. Joey was not so much. He was off doing whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Hanging out with the ladies.
So, yeah.
What was their relationship like growing up? What did they, all brothers fight, and I'm sure it was pretty competitive.
Yeah.
But what was
Yeah.
their
I
relationship
mean,
like?
they definitely, typical brother, back and forth. And of course, Nick being the younger one, worshiped his older brother, just wanted to, be like him and do everything, and then the older brother's sort of like, but yeah, I mean, I just, when they were growing up, I used to, like, my mantra was, you better be nice to him. You two are going to be best friends one day, over and over again, and they are so close. They are so close.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think as a mom, that's one of the things, at least personally, it's what I hope and pray for my kids as much as anything else. And I tell them the same thing, Cheryl. I'm like, you're going to know, and we've talked about this before, Lisa, you're going to know each other longer than you're going to know anyone else in your whole life. Longer than me, this is a relationship that's going to be the longest relationship you have. So cherish it. And there will be ups and downs, but it's amazing to see where they are now. So and so they're close now. What's it like? I mean, what is it like for them to, they didn't play each other against this year, right? Because was Joey out or was Nick
Joey
out?
was injured.
Joey was injured. How many times have they played against each other?
That was the first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's lucky.
Yeah. That is kind of
was
lucky.
the first time.
And you have the shirt, don't you have the shirt, the half and half shirt?
The split jersey,
I love it. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
So how much do they talk a lot now? I mean, do they give each other?
Oh, they probably talk every day.
Yeah.
Wow. They probably talk every day.
Amazing. Who's the mama's boy? Which one's the mama's boy?
Nick, definitely. Nick, and when they were little, that was one thing that Joey used to tease him about. Oh, you're such a mama's boy, And Nick would look at him and be like, yeah, I am. That's right.
It's a compliment.
I love it.
Yeah. Like, whatever. So
Lisa, who's your biggest mama's boy? I've never asked you that.
Oh my gosh. I think it varies like week to week. I don't know. It really does vary. I'll say that. Maybe Luke.
Well, it's like, which one, people ask you, which one do you like the best? And I'm like, depends on the day.
Yeah, exactly. It really does. I guess Luke.
The answer isn't that we love them all the same. The answer is it depends on the day. It's
right.
Depends on the day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Tell me about the season that they played together in high school, right? Because they've only been on the same team once.
Yeah, just the one time. Yeah, it was really cool. They played at a real big football powerhouse. St. Thomas Aquinas is, one of the best in the country. And it is extremely rare for a freshman to come in and even make the varsity, let alone start on varsity. So it was pretty cool that, Nick came in as a freshman, and Joey, obviously, it's his senior year. And think about like the development difference between freshman year and high school. Joey's already big and, college ready and, just dominating, as a senior. And then his brother, who's just a freshman still, even though he's, big and strong, he's a freshman.
Right.
And, but yeah, they played right next to each other.
Oh my gosh. I was going to ask. Wow. That's
and best year. We won states that year.
Oh, wow.
It was
how proud. Oh my gosh. You must've been so proud. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. It was really, really cool.
That's awesome. Wow.
Did you know they were both going to Ohio State? Was that kind of something that,
I think I knew, Nick, I always knew he was always a Buckeye, like when he got braces on his teeth, he got scarlet and gray bands on his braces,
it's like the cutest image, just thinking of Nick Bosa and
braces, right?
Yeah. Joey was the anti-Buckeye. He was like, if the Buckeyes were on, he was cheering for whoever was, So when he was being recruited, he was like, Mom, just so you know, I'm not going to Ohio State. And I'm like, I just kept my mouth shut, poker face. And then Urban Meyer got the job there. And all of a sudden, Joey came home from school one day and said, I think I might want to visit Ohio State. Kept the poker face. Inside, I'm going, yes, Because I knew the second he visited there, it would be a done deal. So
like, sorry, Joey, but it's the Ohio State, buddy.
The Ohio State University. That is right.
What was it like watching your boys play at Ohio State? I mean, I know we're going to dive into the NFL stuff, but I imagine, you being a Buckeye, the family relationship that you have there, the fact that your brother played there. What was it like the first time you got to see them both in Ohio State uniforms?
Well, yeah, I mean, they didn't play together there. Yeah, but Honestly, I could say those 6 years, Joey's 3 and then Nick's 3 were just literally the best. Just the people are so good. And the coaches just, amazing. Coach Johnson, who was their, D-line coach, is one of my favorite humans on the face of the earth, so just that my kids had, that experience with, that program and that coach, it was just amazing. It's just awesome.
Lisa made Christian go to Stanford. He didn't have a choice. That was,
Yes, I did.
There was no poker
Adamant.
face.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
just, that's where you're going.
Because that's you and your husband
Yes,
went
but
to,
like
right?
you, we shut our mouth and we explored lots of schools,
Right.
lots of recruiting visits. We just let him have his own experience, and he ultimately came to that decision. So yeah,
Exactly.
and I
exactly.
was the same thing. I was thrilled inside, but I didn't want to show it because it's a lot of pressure too. So
Absolutely. No, I agree with that for sure.
I think go ahead.
I was going to say, going back to like high school, and were you say you were a strict parent or were you more laxed?
I think I was strict.
You were strict.
Yeah, I was
Would they say
I
you were strict as well compared to their friends and stuff?
I think they would say I was strict. I mean, I think they got away with things, that they probably got away with a few things, but I probably knew most of the things they thought they were getting away with.
Right.
But no, I was pretty strict. There was always a curfew. There
Yeah.
was always, drug testing and,
Oh, wow.
just all that kind of stuff.
You
Just,
did drug testing on them?
we would drug test them. Yeah,
Wow.
definitely. Listen,
I don't blame you. Yeah, I get it.
you've got a gift, and kids are stupid. So, it's our job to
Teach 'em.
help them not be stupid,
Cheryl, I feel like you just hit the nail on the head. And I think the path is long, right? And the journey is long and there's ups and downs. But I have a couple of friends right now currently whose kids are going through some hard stuff, and they're in the high school years, which as anyone who's gone through high school knows, like, you do dumb shit. And I think sometimes you wonder, is it a phase? Is this just them being a kid trying to figure some things out? Or is it something more than that? Was there, like, when were you most worried about your boys, or what was the hardest part about
I mean,
that?
I think, listening to you talk, I mean, yeah, it is a phase, but you got to make sure that it doesn't turn into a pattern.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. And
And, obviously,
parents' biggest
Lisa, Ashley, I don't know what your kids are into, but Lisa and I, we knew
Lots
that
of
our
drugs.
kids are,
My 6 and 3-year-old she asks for
there you go.
She asks for
Okay.
cough medicine every morning, and I'm like, dude, you're a junkie. Let's go. We got to talk about this. But
Robitussin?
yeah,
Robo
tripping. Yeah, she's big into that.
Fantastic. We were very fortunate that our kids were, involved in, great football programs and team sports, which, make all the difference in the world.
Right.
Listen, we got to pay attention as parents, and you can't bury your head in the sand. It's the kids that you saw that the parents were like, oh, my kids could do no wrong, that you were just like, okay.
Right.
Yep.
So
It's so true. You're not living in reality. So
yeah.
Did your boys ever fail? I mean, I'm sure that there were like small failures along the way because everybody experiences those. But we pull back all the time on a conversation we had with Ryan Leaf's mom. And she said that one of the things that she thinks about a lot was that he never really experienced true failure because he was so head and shoulders above of everyone else in skill set in the small town that he grew up in. And that's one of her, I don't want to say regrets, but she said, I just think if he had experienced failure earlier, that maybe everything wouldn't have come crashing down kind of like it did.
Oh, I'm not sure I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Ryan Leaf had he ended up being addicted to drugs and did time in jail.
He
and
was
it
the second pick in the draft. He was a quarterback coming out of Washington State and had the world by the balls basically, and ended up getting addicted to drugs, and since has completely turned his life around.
Yeah.
But he actually got drafted by the Chargers, was with the Chargers, and they struggled when he was there. And it was I mean, he couldn't handle it basically, and got
Yeah.
addicted, and it was, kind of a sad story, but to his credit, has since completely turned his life around for the better, and he's a
Right.
great guy. But yeah, no, that was one thing that his mom said, that he had never experienced failure under their watch really, and had a kind of an easy time through high school. So, yeah, that was one thing I know. Like even getting cut by a team. Did any of your boys experience any of that, or no? Were they
The only thing that really comes to mind is, and it's st- it still sort of happens, and this is where I might bite my tongue during our podcast here, but you know, Nick is Nick has always been so fortunate, like he's like from the time he's 7, he always had the best coaches, the most loving support, coaches, teachers, whatever surrounding him, And Joey always got was like he always got like the booby coach, you know what I mean? I'm talking like when they're little,
right? Right.
and John and I would just be so like sad for him, because he'd be like, Nick's going to the Super Bowl again this year with his great team and his fantastic coaches
Support
and
system that's there for him. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I remember one year that, and I mean, like you were saying, Joey was so head and shoulders talent above everybody, talent wise. But at the end of the seasons, this is at Pembroke Pines Optimus, there was always the All-Star games,
Right.
and the coach picked his son, who sucked, over Joey.
Not always the way.
And it devastated him. So like that's the
Yeah.
one thing I can remember where it just broke my heart. I'm
Right.
like,
This is so unfair. Yeah, it's so unjust.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, and it's sort of like, I mean, Joey loves his teammates, don't get me wrong, but
Right.
the Chargers ain't the 49ers.
Yeah.
And Lisa, I don't know if you know from experience, because you've been on different teams. There's a difference
Oh, yeah.
between teams.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, Christian had been on the Panthers for 6 years. Great people. There's been great coaches that came through, but for some reason they just couldn't get it together. They just can't get it together. They can't. And after being him going to the Niners, he gets it now. He gets he gets why. Like you have Nick sitting there in the locker after the game talking to Trent Williams, asking him like, hey, what can I do better? What can you, bouncing? These are the two of the best players in the whole NFL trying to get better, and they're at the pinnacle of their career. And it's stuff like that is, behind the scenes, you don't see that these.
Well, it comes from the top.
Yeah, exactly.
It really does.
Right.
From the ownership down. So.
Absolutely. No, my husband Ed played 1 year on the 49ers back in 94. He was a backup to Jerry Rice. And I'm not kidding. They treat him like he was a starter. Even before Christian joined the team, they begging him to go to alumni events. They have an incredible organization that's like no other. It really is.
Special.
Yeah, it really is. I hope other teams could, sort of watch what they've done and emulate them, because it is really a neat organization. And you kind of like feel like you really are a part of a family. We were there nine months, and you just feel like they've invited him to every alumni event they've ever had since he was on the team. And it's pretty incredible. So I'm very.
Well, I mean, it's even like, I don't know, what your experience was in Carolina, but like, and this is no fault of anybody except for geographically speaking, when you go to a 49ers game, like everything is right there. So like the team's at the hotel where the parents are staying, and all the parents know each other. It's like being in college, really.
Right.
It's like a college
atmosphere. Yes.
So it's just this fantastic sort of, tailgate, wonderful thing.
Right.
In LA, who's here, who's there? They're all over the place.
Very spread out.
There's no,
camaraderie.
The player doesn't walk into a hotel with fans cheering and going crazy. They just walk in.
Right.
It's just so different.
Right.
So different.
Yeah, that's a great observation. So, yeah.
And I think too, when the relationship with the parents is so special, and obviously it starts when they're younger, but all through college. And to hear that, I think on an NFL team that the parents, that it's like you're in college and there's that relationship there, I think is special. I also don't think people.
I know. I just saw a post this morning from Lisa of her hugging Christian on the field at last week's game. You know, I don't go on the field, but I go in the I go in the tunnel, the what is it, the BNY Club
Right,
tunnel.
right,
So when the team walks down the tunnel,
right, right.
and
And you get, yeah,
so it's just like college
yeah,
where you have that moment, where you
yeah,
just can, even though you just saw them and you just talked to them, there's just that thing that we parents have where we just,
yeah.
and our kids are used to it,
Right, right. I
they
have to
see
get a
us.
quick hug
So
in
they
before the game and then go to my seat.
need my hug,
Yep,
need my
exactly.
hug.
Yep,
Yeah.
need it real quick. Yep, and then move
Yep.
on. So,
I
yeah.
was
No, it
telling
is.
Lisa, seeing her hug Christian after the game, like it was such a moment that is an image that is burned in my mind because it was a
Yeah.
sweet, real, and we build. Your sons are superstars, and they have all
Yeah.
of this pressure, and there's so much that goes into it. I was overwhelmed walking into the game on Sunday and seeing the number of McCaffrey and Bosa jerseys, and
Yeah.
I told Lisa, I was like, I
I'm
feel
getting a Bosa jersey for this game, by the way.
You
I'll wear it
should.
because you won't be there. I'm wearing a Bosa jersey.
perfect.
You know what's really funny? In the NFC Championship game last year, I wore a Jimmy T-shirt.
No
So I
way.
love that. Yeah, it just said Jimmy on it.
I love
It
that.
was a red T-shirt with gold Jimmy on
That's
it.
fantastic. Oh
That
my
is
gosh.
They're
so
our
good.
boys. You know what I mean?
That, right. I'm
know.
going to do it with, yeah, but
I'm gonna get a Christian T-shirt
I'm going
now.
to do it. I'm going to do it and have Defensive Player of the Year on back. So,
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Amen to that, which we're going to talk about that 1000%. But do you guys, I mean, I felt it from an outside third party perspective of as close as I've gotten with Lisa over the last year and seeing it more through that lens of a mom. And I'm like seeing all these McCaffrey jerseys. And I told you, Lisa, when I got to the stadium, I felt a little bit overwhelmed by like the excitement and nerves because I'm like, God, all these people
I know.
are, and I know that, of course, obviously, but
No,
then to see it,
well, when I see somebody in McCaffrey, I feel like a sense of like a little bit of pressure. I feel like, okay, please, I hope he has a good game for that guy. The guy spent all that money on the jersey and all these people. I feel a little bit of extra pressure hoping he performs for them. So not so much for the fantasy leagues, but the people that like buy the jersey and stuff. I'm like, come on, Christian.
I remember when Joey was a rookie. That's when I totally was like, because obviously, Lisa, when our kids were in college, they couldn't have jerseys with our
Right.
kids' numbers on them. There was all those
Right,
rules
ruled
and
in it, yeah.
whatever. So at maybe the first or second of Joey's pro games, I'm walking around stadiums going, oh my God. And I had to take a picture
Yes,
of
me
every
too.
single
I
one
did
of
the
them.
same. I did the same. And I wanted to like give him cards. I had all these like little cards. I'm like, here, thank you for wearing the jersey. Here's a card. I think I did a couple people, and then I'm like, okay, I gotta calm down.
Yeah.
it is so, and I hope that, and I guess I want to ask you both about this. I think in the swirl of life and all the things that we're always running to, I imagine this is the case for you guys too, on some level, that it's hard to just every now and then pause and realize the moment that you're in. And both of you are in an unbelievable moment right now with what your sons are doing and the success that they're having. I was thinking about JJ Watt, and we got to, watch that unbelievable moment of his last game.
I definitely shed a tear.
Me too. Me too. And I don't know him from Adam. I don't know any of his family, but
Right.
watching his wife, they kept showing her and she was sobbing, and his reaction, I thought the Niners fans could not have been classier. Just the applause that they gave him. It was amazing. And it just made me think like at some point that it is going to come to an end, and hopefully it's many years from now. But I just think, do you guys ever pause when you're walking into the stadium or before kickoff or during the game and just sort of soak it in and look around? Or have you been doing it long enough now that you just are so focused on the game that those moments don't come?
I don't think I ever take it for granted. I honestly don't, especially with Joey being out all year. I mean, obviously the horror that we watched with DeMar a couple of weeks ago, we know this sport is here today, gone tomorrow. And and I think, Lisa can attest to this, my nerves are ridiculous before every game.
We talked, we were texting after one game. We're like, I mean, how tired are you after a game? We feel like
Oh,
we
God.
played, and I know we didn't, obviously, but
Oh my God.
you're just exhausted after because you're just
So emotionally
right.
exhausted.
So you're just so vested in the game every single
Yeah.
play, and just by the end of it, you're just like, so
Just nervous that, God forbid something happens.
Right.
Not only to your son, to anybody else. And
absolutely.
just,
You feel
it's
for
just-
everybody. Yeah. Sometimes I'll be honest. Christian had a couple injuries. And so, now like you said, I don't take anything for granted anymore at all. But there are times I'll actually pause and like run to the bathroom and just kind of sit in the stall and sort of like, I have to take a couple of deep breaths and decompress and just think, and think, where am I? I'm here, and just make, touch my legs and my arms and be like, okay, I'm present. I'm okay. I'm healthy. Everything's going to be okay. Relax, like calm down. I have to tell myself in my head, calm the fuck down. So,
does it work? Has it worked?
I have a few. Trust me, I have a few cocktails because
yeah, or that.
Because my heart's going like this. I'm like,
It was a little tough to do that during the Raider game, but so that was a little too close for comfort.
Oh yeah,
that one was just that one was.
Oh God, yeah.
What's the most nervous What's the most nervous you both have been in a game? Is there one that immediately jumps out? I mean, I imagine.
I think I got more nervous, honestly, in college, at college games. I don't know why. I don't know why exactly. I don't know if it's just, the whole thing about college. It's just so much more of a sport or something. I don't know. I can't even explain it,
It's different.
Or the fact that I was a Buckeye too,
right.
and just the legacy of
you felt the pressure more for some reason there.
Yeah.
Well, anyone who has ever experienced a game at the Shoe knows, I mean, that is one of the best environments that you could ever ask for.
Yeah. It's just crazy. When is the most nervous I've ever been? Gosh, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Yeah. Probably Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Probably Super Bowl 2019.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Because you want it so badly for them. And you're, I mean, it's, again, the health thing, every time they take a step on that field. And it's just.
And then, obviously the loss of that game, we lost it in the last 6 minutes because we totally had it in the bag. I mean, just my son was inconsolable. He was just hysterical, it was just,
right. You feel so bad for him. You feel so hard. Yeah. Oh, it's hard.
I was going to say, what did you say to him after that? What was?
I mean, there's not much to say. You don't really say, you hug, that's all you do, and let them cry and, tell them how proud you are. That's all,
Do they get nervous for games, the boys?
They do.
Yeah.
They do get nervous. Yeah. I think, like with anything, it's, your first series and then you're fine.
Right.
Oh, you get out there. Does Christian get nervous?
He gets really intense. I mean, he would probably say, no, I'm not nervous, but he is. I can tell. He has he's very focused. So
obviously I've never been in the locker room, but if I were to guess, I could see where they might go just get into themselves for
exactly
a while.
Right. Yeah. Last week, we after the game, we all went back to where he's staying, and we were just he had some friends from high school in town, and we were hanging out, and all of a sudden he gets a notice that the game is on Saturday, and he's like, okay, everybody out, I'm going to bed. He's like kicking her. He's like, okay, now I have one less day to get ready. So I know I have to get back on a schedule. And I could see his demeanor change. And he was like, okay.
I think he and Nick are probably very similar that way. Just they're regimented in their schedules. And,
I think so too. Yeah.
Definitely. Of course, I was quite bummed that the game was on Saturday. I was hoping to.
Have one spread
be
out.
able to do both, but.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. So, I was going to say, so you are in an unbelievable situation, Cheryl, where you've got one son playing in a playoff game at 1:30 Pacific, Niners and Seahawks in San Francisco, and then on the other coast, Joey and the Chargers are playing Jacksonville, and that one kicks at I think 5:15. I saw Pacific time. So, how did you decide which one to go to, and what's Saturday going to be like for you?
Well. Obviously, I was praying that I'd be able to get to both. And, obviously I didn't get lucky this weekend. Hopefully the following weekend I will. Joey's been injured this year. I've, was at, a couple of his first games. I was at the game that he went down in, and then he's been out for, 10 or 12 weeks. I went to his first game back, which was 2 weeks ago. I guess it's just a numbers game, I need to be there for him,
Right.
And, I adore his girlfriend. So she's thrilled. She's flying from California to go with me. And so.
And I imagine Nick understands that.
Nick. Yeah. I was just, we went out to dinner after the game on Sunday, and I just was like, babe, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to go to Joey's game. And he's like, absolutely.
Oh, I'm sure he gets it. Yeah.
So,
Good.
yeah.
Well, Lisa will give him an extra
Lisa will be
pregame
there
hug.
with
How
your
about that?
jersey. Yeah, cheering. I'll find him and give him a hug for you.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. Yeah.
It's funny. We got to see Kate and Jen McBride, Trey McBride's moms, who we've had on a few months ago. I'd just say if you haven't listened to that episode, I highly encourage it. It's still one of my favorites. They've become good friends of ours, but we got to see them at the game. And Jen said something to me that made me really laugh, but it was so poignant. She said that when she was a fan, she was like, I think about the shit that I used to yell, like, especially like about the court, like rip that quarterback's ass, like get up in there, like would cheer for these like massive hits. And she goes, and now that I have a son who plays, I'm like, just go all ball, like just nobody get hurt, just like get a turnover, but like play, just like clean, like it's clean, good, like you didn't have to hit him. And she goes, but I just look at everybody on the field so differently because I'm a mom of one of these players. And it really struck me because it makes a ton of sense when you think about it through the lens of a mom's, which the thousands of fans in attendance aren't thinking that way. But do you feel is it like, how would you describe the experience of being the mom of an NFL player? And how
obviously as a defensive mom, I mean, you want your kids to get a good hit. You don't want anyone to get hurt,
right?
You may want them to get a little like, oh man, you
want the quarterback to be a little gun shy on the other
team. You want the quarterback to be thinking about your son.
Thinking that, wow, I just got hit pretty hard. I better release the ball quickly.
So, I don't know why, but in our house, this is like insider information, but we call sacks squishies. So we're always like, and I don't know if you remember in Finding Nemo, Squishy was the little octopus.
Okay.
So like, you remember, I shall call you Squishy and you shall be mine. Yeah.
That's right.
So, So we are texting octopuses to each other all the time. So,
that's good.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird, but
I love it. Ooh, inside scoop.
Yeah.
I love it. That's going to be a new thing now.
Inside scoop.
That's fantastic.
It also seems so much sweeter. Like he led the league in squishies.
Yeah.
He did.
I love that. I got to ask you then, if we're talking about where did the shoulder shrug celebration that your son is now totally famous for, and I was looking it up.
It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, tell the story.
Look, you honestly can Google it, and it's like legit because Joey started it in college, and he did it on just natural, on accident. He made a sack at Ohio State, shrugged. It went viral.
Oh, how fun.
It went viral. They created the shrug emoji from Joey's. Like if you Google it, you look at Joey, you look at the Bosa shrug, it was Joey. So when Nick was going to college after 3 years of Joey doing the shrug, we were like, Nick, you're going to come up with like, you're going to have a new thing, you're going to stir the pot. What are you doing? You're going to
You're going to do the belly rub, which we saw on Sunday, which was good. Yeah.
What, this?
No, who was it? One of there was big play. The big deep. So anyway, keep going. So so did he say? Did he feel like it was Joey's?
No, I mean, they just have, they both took their dad's number. They both, have just followed in each other's footsteps. So, So
I think that's a better story. I like it that they both do it. That's their thing. I think it's so good.
I will tell you guys this though. At the game in Mexico, he did get a sack and he didn't do the shrug because he did a gender reveal for his best friend.
No way.
It was this, meaning that his friend was having a boy.
No
He
way.
was the only one that knew what it was. So everybody was watching.
And he didn't do the shrug, and he did that. Oh, that's
what was he going to do if it was a girl?
He was going to skip. He was going to skip if it was a girl.
Okay.
So it was either muscles or.
Oh my gosh!
skip.
Wait. So who was it? His best friend is having a baby?
Remember the boy that was with me the other night at the locker room?
Yes.
I don't know if you
met him briefly. Yes, real quick. Yes.
He's my best friend's son.
Okay, got it.
So the kids have grown up with him their whole life. So like literally, both of my boys are inseparable with Tommy. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm
That
not one
is
for gender
amazing.
reveal parties, but this is like,
That's-
this
No,
needs to be a
exactly.
thing. That is
Exactly.
unbelievable.
If you can get
Isn't that
instead
great?
of what are those
I
ones where
mean-
you do like the happy birthdays? You can get famous people to do happy birthdays, things like that.
Yeah.
That you
Yeah.
should do this with gender
Cameos.
reveals. Yeah, cameos. No, now we'll do it with gender
You
reveals.
can hire
That's
Nick and Joey
so
Bosa to
good.
do your gender reveal. Because really, I just want to see them skip after a sack. That would
Me
be.
too. Ashley, get
Nick-
pregnant. so
I
we
was
can
just
do
going to
this.
say,
Hurry
this
up.
might be the reason that I have a third
Nick
kid.
skips out of the when they do the announcement. He skips.
He's how
Oh,
funny.
Does
God.
Christian skip?
I don't. Kind of. I guess he does, but
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, it's like a pretty. It's like almost like a lunge. It's kind
Yeah.
of a big, but
Yeah.
no, yeah.
Oh my, that is so
That's
awesome.
gold.
That is
That
such a
is-
great
yeah.
story.
I love it. I
is
love it.
cool.
Ashley, get knocked up. Hurry up.
Done.
Go.
Now the
Go
decision
do
has
it.
been made. I finally feel like
I
now
want
this is
Joey
the sign
Bosa
that
to
I
do your
needed.
gen- Yeah,
Yeah,
Joey Bosa
because
to
I
do
want
your
Joey to
gender
too
reveal.
much. I never knew that that's what I wanted, but that's exactly what I want. That was the only
I
thing
want
holding me
that for
back.
you.
Yeah, because I saw it. Like Barack Obama did it when Ohio State went to the White House right
he
after
did the
he
shrug.
won. He did the
Yeah,
shrug.
Oh, he did. Oh, how
I
funny.
mean, it is
I love
just
it.
it's so cool how it's taken off. I love it. Does he
Yeah.
do your boys ever do that to you? Like when you're
Yelling
being a
at
mom,
him?
like do they?
No.
Sorry,
'Cause I
Mom.
feel like my kids do that to me all the time. Like,
I get so aggravated when I see other players do it though. I'm like, hey,
No. Yeah.
that's taken.
yeah, totally. I mean, and the
You should
emoji,
get a
the
patent
one
on it.
you should get a patent on it.
Get a
It's
patent
true.
on it. Make
And
sure.
I'm
it's get a
serious.
patent. Go
You
with
could
it.
you could start a whole gender reveal business. I think.
I'm
There's
not
something
kidding.
here.
We're onto something here. I love that idea.
Oh, what's your relationship like with football, Cheryl? Are you? Because I think it's clear that obviously you've grown up in it and it's been a part of your life. But how would you describe like your relationship with the game?
Yeah, I mean it's just kind of been, as long as I can remember, to be honest with you. Yeah. Both of my brothers played, I was one of those little peewee cheerleaders, back in the day. And, I've just been around it
Yeah.
literally my whole life. Um, I went to college with my brother, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not letting you go somewhere where I can't be at your game every weekend, He's a year younger than me. So I actually went to University of Illinois my freshman year.
Oh, wow.
And then he was a 5-star recruit. So he was being recruited absolutely everywhere. And
Where did you guys grow up?
in Chicago.
Chicago. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he was like, and he and I are very close. So he was like, oh, guess I'll come to Illinois. And I'm like, I don't really like it here. Where do you want to go? And he's like, Ohio State. And I went, let's go.
Yeah.
So I transferred.
That's awesome.
So
And
it's just-
where is he now? Are you guys? Does he come to the games?
he's still in Chicago. His son plays wide receiver for Buffalo.
Oh, no way. Wow.
Yeah.
Who?
So-
What's his name?
Jake Kumaro.
Okay.
He's on IR right now.
Oh, okay.
So,
Say, oh, wow. That's
yeah.
neat.
yeah.
The gene pool is amazing on
Yeah.
Yeah.
both sides.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Maybe you should have another one.
Yeah. Urban Meyer used to say that to me and John. First of all, we were divorced. I was already
Take one for the team.
I mean,
Come on.
I was already over 50, and Urban would walk up to us and go,
Yeah, come on.
I'll buy the tequila in the hotel room. Come out. And I'd be like, ew, get away.
So good.
it's gonna take a lot more than that. Urban.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I
You
wish
are
that was
right.
surprising to me. That's an
Yeah,
amazing
that's funny.
story.
See, we're getting into sex talk.
See,
Yep,
that's
here
what
we
that's what the
go.
people came for. We're
Tell
just
us
giving the
about it. We
audience what
want
they
all the
want.
details.
Yeah, yeah. But on a serious note, and talk about this however you want, Cheryl. But I do think navigating, and come from a divorce. My parents got divorced, and have a lot of my friends have gone through and are going through it right now who have kids. What is it? What was that like? Like what was the thing that you guys decided that it wasn't going to work, and how did it impact the family dynamic? And again, share whatever you want or don't, but I think there's so many people who we don't talk about this stuff openly. So
Yeah. I mean, I guess my best way of putting it is, we stop paying attention, and when you stop paying attention, you're one person's going in one direction, the other one's going in the other direction, life gets in the way if you don't pay attention to all the challenges that are happening around you, you grow apart. And
How
And
old were
that's,
the boys? How old were the boys then?
it's funny. You know how some people are like, oh, I got divorced on Thursday, December,
Yeah.
whatever, 19, whatever. I don't remember. Like I
Right.
literally,
Just a blur.
I think it was like 12 or 13 years ago. I don't remember, but um, we were separated for years. So, I mean, like when we first told the boys, I think we're like 8 and 10, I think, or whatever, something like that, 9 and 11,
Right.
something like that. And that in itself was really because John and I have always kept a really united front. It's all about the boys, and we never played that game
Good for
where
you.
Yeah.
God.
Good job.
And I remember actually like John and I were holding hands, sitting down on our couch when we told them.
Wow.
And the boys reacted exactly like their personalities. Joey started crying, and Nick went and locked himself in his bedroom.
Wow.
Literally, within 15 minutes, because we lived on a cul-de-sac, they were on the cul-de-sac riding their razor scooters with the neighbor boys.
Wow.
Okay,
That's
that was over.
We needed our 15 minutes to
I
mourn,
think
and then now we're back.
That's an
They just
amazing
stayed-
story, Cheryl, because you know what?
Yeah.
Kids are way
They're
more
resilient.
resilient than we
Yeah.
give them credit for. And
And we would sit next to each other at all their
That's
games.
amazing.
And so there was never,
That's-
we weren't living together anymore, but it was never weird for them.
Right.
Kids want
That's
their
so
parents
healthy.
to be happy. Kids want their parents to
Exactly.
be happy. End of story. And I think you hear so many people who say we're staying together for the kids.
For
And
the
it's like, you're not.
That's an excuse.
It
No.
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. So I appreciate you sharing that. And
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that the point about paying attention, it's so simple and it is so critical because it
Yeah.
is easy to, you give all of your energy and emotion and attention to all of these things in your life. And usually you save kind of like what's left over for your partner. And it's, you have to be really intentional to not do
Who's
that.
starting a business? Who's driving the kids all over
It's logistics.
God's greenery?
Right.
Just doing logistics.
It's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
So who are you dating now?
I'm not dating. I'm dating Joey and Nick. No, I swear to
You want
God.
us
Like,
to, do you want Ashley and I to
people
start
ask me,
looking?
"Oh, do you have a boyfriend?" I go, "I've got 2, and they're younger." Yeah,
Younger men are
And
the way to
Joey
go.
has a girlfriend, but Nick doesn't, right?
Nick does not.
That's what I
No.
thought. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Joey's gal is
Cute.
fantastic.
I love it.
No, I.
Do you
got a
want us to
great-
start looking? Do you want us to look for you? Or
I
no, you're good.
I don't look. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I am so happily single.
Good.
And then you've
Good.
got the people that look at you like, oh,
Oh gosh, no.
and I'm like,
I'm good.
I've got a career. I travel all the time, even when it's not, for football, I travel all the time. And when it's not football, I'm going to the Bahamas. I'm going here with my friends. There with,
Love it.
yeah,
You're pretty happy.
I'm good.
I
Good.
love that. I love that.
Yep.
And you should be, because if it's the right thing, it'll come along when it's supposed to be, but your cup is
Yeah.
full right
Yeah.
now. And you're a real estate agent from what I understand in
Yeah.
Florida, right? That's
Yeah.
all, you're perfect for that. I think I
Yeah.
should go
Oh,
buy a
thanks.
house in Florida from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have another kid.
You know who
and
to
then
call.
I know.
Yeah.
Now I know who to call. We have kept
I
you.
work with a lot of players too,
Do
which
you?
is
Oh,
so
good.
fun. Yeah, because people take advantage
Oh,
of them, and
yeah.
I love to take care of them
It's awesome.
and set them straight. Because they'll come here and they'll be like, "Ooh, I want that big bright shiny object," and I'll
Right.
be like, "No,
Let's be
not good for
realistic.
Good
right.
for you. Good for
Yeah.
you. And I bet they really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Especially later on, they're like, "Ooh, thank goodness."
I know.
Yeah, I'm literally like so close with all the guys I've ever worked with.
I love
so.
that. That is awesome.
Fantastic.
Well, I know we've kept you longer than I was hoping that we were going to, but just a couple more if you've still got time.
Sure, I'm
Okay.
good.
And I want to ask both of you this. If you could implement one rule in the NFL, what would it be?
I'm glad you asked that question. I saw it on the list. I want to hear yours first, Lisa.
Oh gosh, I haven't thought about it, so you go first.
Okay. No Thursday night football.
Oh,
Why?
mhm.
Absolutely no.
Yeah.
Because
And
of the
I would
turnaround
say,
time?
Yeah, I love, love, love. I should have thought of that because that one is absolutely perfect. And I think that every single field in the NFL should be monitored
Bravo.
and should have like a standard that
Grass.
everyone has to live up to.
Grass field.
Grass, yeah.
Yeah.
And monitored
Grass.
grass. Like if you have grass
Yeah.
up in a cold area, you have to, do it like Green Bay does it. They do a good job with their field. So anyway, I think that they should do that. So
Because
and
right
also
now it's
don't-
just by organization, right? It's just like whoever
whatever the owners put into it.
Yeah.
So, and then maybe no tackling running backs. That's what they should do. What? That's a good rule. Just across the board.
That's a great
Everybody.
The
rule.
scores would be like, 120
Yeah.
to like whatever. Yeah.
But that's it. That's all I ask
We'll put
for.
those forward. We'll put those forward, and I'll get a meeting with Roger
Yeah.
Goodell, and we'll let you each present your arguments.
Thursday night. Here, I got another one.
Oh, good. We should run it.
The visiting families don't have to sit in,
Yes.
Bob Uecker
Yep.
nosebleed seats.
Absolutely. They should treat the family.
Roger Goodell needs to hear me right now.
Let's get him.
Why would you make families sit in
that
nosebleed
travel
seats?
all that way
Ever.
to see their son? Yeah. And I'm not asking for front row 50-yard line, but at decent seats in the stadium. That's it. Lower level, maybe on the 20 or 30 would be nice. Come on.
It's such an insult.
Yeah.
It is such an insult that we have to go to away games and then purchase tickets because
You're in the nosebleeds.
the
Yes.
seats we get are the worst seats in the
And is that
entire
everywhere?
stadium.
Is that just
Sure.
standard
Yep.
issue?
Across the board.
Everywhere, yeah.
Wow. Okay, those are great rules.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what we can make happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have something on your
Roger.
bucket list? Do you have anything on your bucket list that you want to share?
I kind of do everything on my bucket
I
list. I
love
really
that.
do.
What have you
I
done?
really
What have you done that was on your bucket list that you're, proud you've done?
Well, last summer, me and two of my best friends went to Greece for 3 weeks and just,
Yeah. Hey,
island.
you have my
hop.
number. Hello.
Well,
I mean, come on.
you know what?
Let's go. You know how to reach
I'm
me.
always this summer we talked about, we haven't done it yet though, but this summer we talked about like getting a house in Tuscany for a month.
Okay.
And just,
I love it.
bopping around to different little Italian villages. And so, yeah, I live my bucket
I
list.
love it. Good.
That is a great answer. I love that. Okay. All right. If you could go back and do something differently as a parent, like big or small.
See, that was the one question I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
And maybe the answer is nothing. But
no, it's not nothing.
They turned out pretty decent.
yeah.
I think you're good.
Yeah, I mean, they're such good boys. They really are. I mean, we always have regrets. Be more patient,
Yeah.
especially with my Joey. My Joey was a little bit more of a handful than Nick was. So, just patience.
Yeah.
Definitely to be more patient.
I needed
for
to hear
sure.
that this morning. Thank you. I
Yeah.
yelled at both of my children very loud this morning before school.
Yeah,
And I'm just
yeah.
like, this
As we
isn't, I'm
do.
not helping the situation. I know that. But
As we do.
But
yeah.
put your-
I mean,
fucking shoes on.
nerves get frayed. They do,
Sometimes I feel like I'm shot. Like I feel like my nerves are shot right now.
Well, and then don't you go to bed at night saying, I'm going to be more patient
Yes.
Tomorrow, every day. Yeah.
And then the second you hear their footsteps or voices, you're like, so it's normal.
Yeah.
That's
Just
so
apologize
true.
after. Say sorry.
I have gotten way better about
Apologize
that.
when you're 58.
Yeah.
You
There you go.
I should have been more patient.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. You go on a podcast much later and just say, you know what? I should have been more patient. And then all is well. All is well. Oh, God. Well,
You've
Cheryl.
already been to the shrink.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
exactly.
Right. Just save some money for therapy.
Yeah.
You're good.
But truly, like we all do so many things and try and do all these things to help our kids. Is there something as you reflect back on how you raised them that you did or maybe didn't do as a mom that you think like actually really mattered? Was maybe one of those things that you feel like
Well, I
made
mean,
a difference?
it's a really simple answer too. Just be there,
Yeah.
being there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And being present. I know a lot of moms that are physically there,
Yeah.
but they're
On their phone.
not present.
Yeah.
Go in the other room. You know what I mean? But you got to be present.
Yeah.
And
Did you do that
Listen.
intentionally? Like when they were growing up, were there because you're pulled in a million directions, you're working, you got all this stuff going on. Were there? How were you present?
You know what? I didn't work when the kids were like little to
Okay.
kindergarten, because
Yeah.
I'm very lucky that I didn't have to. And like, I didn't want to. I wanted to be a full-time mom, and then after that, I started, a business out of my house. So I always could drive them to practice, pick them up at school, I just,
Perfect.
that was really important to me is just to, be present
Yeah.
for them.
Good job. Yeah.
I love
Great
that.
advice.
It is one of the simplest, but probably in weird way the hardest to do. But if you, it's like
Yeah.
showing up is everything, both in all.
But
of
you
it.
know what? At the same time, I would go on my girls' trips, and John was fabulous. He'd be like,
Oh, that's
"Go,"
Yeah.
because it
charges you,
re-energizes.
right?
Yes.
And it makes you a better parent when you come back. I swear. I believe
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
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 So I feel like we had a really good balance.
That's
I love
great.
that. I love
Yeah.
that. Okay. Two last things. One, what would you say? What would your boys say if we were to ask them is the best part about having you as a mom? What do you think they would say?
Oh, if I could hear their knee-jerk answer, it would be like her cooking. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It
that's
wouldn't be
good.
like some like deep emotional thing, like, well,
Yeah.
she just always so, understanding. No, it would be my cooking. Yeah.
What's their favorite dish? What do you
Yeah.
make that they love?
Um, well, Nick has just gotten to be such a pain about eating. Like, I mean,
yeah.
literally won't put a carbohydrate in his body.
Yeah.
And,
Same.
so
Yeah.
cooking for him now. Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We all know that. We all never don't touch a carb.
Never.
Never. I haven't had a carb in 10 years.
I haven't had a carb in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
Because of
joking.
this stupid interview. I know.
Yeah, because we won't shut our pie holes. Yeah.
I mean, I come from an Italian family, so I'd make the big pot of gravy and,
Yum.
the pasta on Sundays and, the whole thing. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a love language in and of itself. I think
Yeah.
cooking
It is,
and
yeah.
being taken care of that way. I think that is.
what would
huge.
your kids say,
Me?
Lisa?
Oh,
Yeah.
that I was just the perfect mom, so patient and understanding. No,
Yeah.
not at all. Same. They'd say something dumb like, I don't, oh gosh, the best part about me being their mom was, well, I do say, I will say this, Christian has come back and acknowledged that this was one thing that all of his friends made fun of us for. We would take their phones at night. Before bedtime, we're like, okay, you don't need your phone in your room, and we would confiscate them. We're like, hey, we're paying for them, we take it. And Christian finally came back. He said, first of all, he claims he was the last person on earth as a kid to get a phone.
Yeah.
We didn't give it to
Yeah.
him until a little bit later, and he said that he now wants to adopt that and do that when he has kids. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I really do. I love that they see that as adults and appreciate that.
Yeah.
The phone, yeah. I mean, I don't think I took their phones at night, but you never had it at the dinner table. You never,
Right.
and it's so weird that they do appreciate this stuff
Later on,
As
yeah.
they get older, you understand. It's like it's the same with us. I'm sure that there are things that your parents did that you can't understand or whatever,
Yeah.
and then as you get older, you're
older.
like, okay, my mom wasn't trying to ruin my life. Like, I guess
Right.
there was a reason that she was doing that. I just have to double back though, Lisa, because I asked Christian that question when we were at dinner for your birthday, and he had the most perfect answer. He said that the best thing about you is, he said, it is the most amazing feeling to know that no matter what happens to me or what I do in my life, that she is always there. She has always been there, and she is
God.
always going to be there. It was, and
I want Christian
he
to
knew
be
it
my
immediately.
son.
Yeah, you can
You're doing
adopt
pretty
him.
good.
Yeah,
Aw.
I know.
Because you're not going to be there if they get arrested or something. Would you be there? Would you visit them in jail?
It depends what they did.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You know.
That's true. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Oh no, but I was he didn't skip a beat. He knew exactly.
Oh, that's actually sweet.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
really
I'll
sweet.
take it.
So
Yeah.
There you go.
that's-
There's the answer.
that and taking his phone were the two things that
Yeah.
obviously that he really. Okay, we are undefeated in manifesting things on this podcast, Cheryl. Just so you know, Lisa,
Okay.
I think got the score wrong of the Lions game the other day.
I
when
got
we
the
had
score
Aiden
wrong.
Hutchinson's
They did
mom.
win.
They did win by more, I think. So
Yes,
we're not
exactly.
not perfect clairvoyance, but like pretty close.
Close.
So, is there anything before we let you go
Okay.
that you would like to manifest for 2023?
Oh, yeah. Do I need to have actual scores? Or can
No,
I
no,
manifest?
just anything.
Just a
You can manifest
manifestation. That's it.
anything.
I am going to manifest a Chargers 49er Super Bowl.
Love it. And then you can't lose. That's beautiful. Love it.
Yeah.
When that happens, will you come back on our podcast?
I don't know if I'll be alive. I might have a heart attack.
In your split jersey, wear your split jersey. Oh,
I will. I will.
Yeah. Well, we'll do a nice ceremony and we'll be sure that you're buried in your split.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Rest in
love
peace.
it. Great manifestation.
I love that. Oh, that
Yeah.
feels good. All right.
Yeah.
And we are both manifesting that Nick is gonna. Is it next month that they announced it? I think NFL Defensive Player of the Year. I can't imagine that.
That's done. That's a done deal. I'm glad you didn't manifest that because that's already done. That's,
Yeah.
He told me that I could accept the award if we're in the Super Bowl. So I'm excited about
Oh,
it.
that's
that's
awesome.
fantastic. Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll be
love
your
that.
like fluffer. I'll like make sure you look good before you walk out.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Yes.
Lisa is a great fluffer.
I'll do straighten your
But,
hair.
but can she get a squishy?
Oh, good question. Oh,
That is maybe one of my favorite things that I have taken from this
Yes.
podcast is I'm going to
it's
start
so
calling
good.
them squishies.
Squishy. That the Bosas call sacks squishies.
That
Yeah.
is so good. Where did that start? Where did that actually start? Was it from Finding Nemo?
I swear to God, it started from Finding Nemo, and it's
So
with
good.
with Dory and the octopus, and I don't know how we like all of a sudden started calling that a sack. That I have no idea.
that's so funny. I love
It's
it.
It was just like
perfect.
one of those stupid family things.
Yes.
that
No,
we do,
but
you know.
that is why moms are the best, and it is so good because every family has their little inside jokes and their things, and you realize that I don't know. That's what makes it special.
Yeah.
Like there's all
Yeah.
these
And
little
this
things behind the
is
scenes.
gonna like come out in the universe.
Exactly.
And it's gonna be like,
Mom,
Mom,
I
totally.
know,
God.
I know. I
Fine.
can't wait for him to get asked about all of his squishies in the post game.
Exactly. It's gonna have to take off.
Oh,
Yeah,
Cheryl Bosa,
some reporter's gonna like ask him.
1000%. Yeah,
I'm making a shirt.
that just says that just says this and then squishy. Go squishy.
Yeah, that octopus doing this. How about that? Bam.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's it.
Yep.
And I'm gonna get pregnant and do a gender reveal.
And then do a
with,
gender reveal. Call
yeah.
for gender
So
reveal.
thank
Call
you.
this number. It'll be your number.
This was truly a life-changing podcast. Thank you,
Yes.
Cheryl Bosa.
I want to go find somebody that's pregnant right now. No.
Oh, Cheryl,
So
you've
good.
been so generous with your
You're the
time
best.
and your stories. You are the
I'm
best.
gonna
This
miss
was-
you this weekend. I'm so
I
bummed you're not
know.
gonna be out, but good
I
luck.
know.
Obviously, I'll be thinking about you. And
Please be in touch.
Especially the second
Yeah.
half. I'll try to give you detailed updates.
I'll
For
text
sure.
you
Yeah.
and let you know if I'm
If you don't have access
receiving.
to a
Yeah.
TV, for sure.
We will manifest big wins and everybody staying healthy and a Super Bowl
perfect.
between
you for
the
coming
Chargers and the
on.
Niners. That is beautiful. Thank you for coming on. You are the best. And
Oh, this was really fun, you guys.
we'll see you at the Super Bowl, I guess.
Yes, I'll be there because both my kids are playing.
Love it.
Cheryl, thank you. Mwah.
Bye, you guys.
I love you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
I don't even know how we put a bow on that conversation. I love her. Thank you for making that happen, Lisa.
Oh, I know.
Cheryl
Isn't she the
Bosa.
best?
She's
You know why
unbelievable.
her kids are so good, so exceptional.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's a fantastic mom, fantastic person, somebody you just want to hang out with. She's
Totally.
great.
And
love her.
I appreciate how real she is. I think that's
Yes.
as I've gotten older, there's so much BS out there and people are putting on all these airs about this and that. Like she is one of those people you can tell she's real, she's authentic, and boy, what a special moment. She's gonna have two sons playing in the playoffs
Yeah,
on the same day.
incredible. I know. I wish it was staggered for her sake, but still, what an
know, I
amazing,
know.
like you said, appreciate where you are because that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Well, it'll be it'll be great when they meet in the Super Bowl.
Yep. Protect her
Um,
at all costs.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
I will be watching, of course, and
I want to
cheering
hear
on.
you.
And I'm just
cheering.
going to be doing like all the squishy,
I
What's
can't wait.
Christian? Christian doesn't really when he scores a
No,
touchdown, he points, right? And
Yeah, he does his chest like it's
chest.
supposed to be each member of the family and then points
Yeah.
just to God. Kind
Oh,
of
that's
thing.
cool. So
Cute,
he
yeah.
hits his chest for each member of the family. I don't think I
Yep.
realized that. I love that. Okay.
Really hard one for me because usually
I was
mad
just going to
for
say
some
you're
reason.
first, obviously.
Mad, yeah. That's like, damn her.
That one's for mom. That's
Yeah.
mom. These are for the
What
brothers.
did she
and
say
my
this
dad.
time? Oh no.
Oh, this was great.
Anyway.
We will be back next week, hopefully talking about some big wins to celebrate this weekend. But as always, please subscribe. It helps us with the algorithms. We don't understand it. You can watch us on YouTube, and go call a mom. Tell her you love
Your
her.
mom.
your mom, anybody's mom, my mom. You can call my mom. I should give my mom's number out on the podcast
You
sometime.
should put it, just have it rolling on the bottom, scrolling on the bottom. Everyone just give her a shout out. Just give her a call. Ask her how she's doing.
She's doing great. And she's interested in dating. So just, I'll throw that out there. I know Cheryl's good, but I think my mom's open too.
Shauna, wasn't she at a concert a couple weekends ago?
Yes, she was. She was, she was texting me on New Year's Eve that she was,
Love it.
Interested in a band member, and I don't think it quite went there, but
that's
what I'm going to manifest. You know what I'm going to manifest for 2023?
Yes, your mom finding love.
My mom is going to find, and even like I would be good with just like a companion. Like I want her to find that deep burning love. Yes. But I think she is an amazing woman and deserves some companionship. So that is what I am manifesting for 2023. There you go.
That's awesome. And if not, she could just follow Shauna Na around the US and just be like a groupie.
She'd be such a good groupie because she's always like worried about all the things that are going to happen. So she'd make sure that everything was.
She'd take care of the band.
She'd take care of the band for sure. All right. Love you, Lisa.
Love you too.
See you next
soon.
week.
Have a great week.
Mom, you do absolutely everything for me, and I love you so much. I would not be where I am without you, that's for sure.